Hey guys, it's Muda here. Welcome to the channel. We're at 47 subscribers now, which is cool. That's like 2 classes. But if you aren't one of those guys, I'm going to teach you how to use Figma today. So today we're going to do a video on how to create a loading spinner in Figma. So yeah, this is just a cool trick that I found to do a full 360-degree rotation. If you don't want to make a spinner, I guess you don't really need to know, but we're gonna get into, I guess, a little bit of smart animate, or a little bit on how to use animation in Figma. So if you saw the last PewDiePie video, I just took a section of that and cut it down to 10 minutes basically, so you don't have to watch a whole 40 minutes on how to animate. So let's get into it. I got a plan to make things look nicer. So we're in the document now. As you can see, I have a README there, Muda experience. I don't know if you have any questions, just come out to me. But anyway, we're gonna get into this. So there's a trick to creating a 360-degree rotation. Now, to get your 360-degree rotation or to develop your spinner in Figma, I've got 3 steps for you. So the first one is design your loader. Next one is make your frames. And the third one is prototype. So let's go back to the start. Essentially what we want to do is make this plane spin around the globe. So how do we do that? Well, I've got 2 different layers. The first one is a rotating layer, and then the second one is a static layer. So as you can see here, I've already set up my loading spinner. And when we take out the plane layer, you can see that this is the rotating layer, and then this is the static. So in the static, probably better if I bring this up. We have our loading or our static layer, which is the loading layer. And we have our spinning layer, which is here, which I already pulled out. But we can put it back in. So let's put that back in. Okay. So that's setting up your loader. Oh yeah, also make sure to name everything properly. So as we can see here, I've named the globe. I've named every single layer so that when I do use the prototyping tool, it'll match up with the correct naming. So make sure you name everything. That's just number 1. You'll see how important it is later, but yeah, keep everything with the same name. So once you've already set up your loader, step 2 is to make the frames. So we have these 3. So the trick to getting a perfect 360-degree rotation is to use 3 frames. The reason for that is because Figma will only go from a rotation of 0 to 180, and then you can go from 180 again back to 0. But because of the way it's set up, I always go from 0 to 179 degrees, and then we flip that to negative 179, and then we go back the other way. So Figma will always find the shortest path to do a animation, and that's why you need 3 frames. So as you can see here, I've already set up the frames. Now, how do you do this? Well, the first one you set to 0-degree rotation, because that's your starting point. The second one, you can set it to negative 179 degrees. Now, I'm going clockwise. If you wanted to go counterclockwise, you would set it to 179 first, and then you would go to negative 179. And then, well, for our case, frame 2, it's negative 179. And then we flip it on its axis to get to 179. And we link it back to 0, so it'll go back to 0 at the end. So let's just do that. So I already started here. Let's just get rid of this. So we have our frame 1. Okay, so we have our frame 1. As you can see here, our loader is set to 0 degrees. Now let's make a copy of this. So I'm holding Alt, and I just drag out a copy. Now, because we want to make the spin, I'll set this to -179. And as you can see here, it's ready. Yeah, it's 179. And then I'll make the third frame just by holding Alt and dragging. And I'll set this to 179. Okay. Now we'll just leave those here for now. And we're gonna go to the next step, which is prototyping. So this is like the big thing to get things to animate in animate in Figma. So the way I get it to run automatically is that you have to use an after delay of 1 millisecond. That's the smallest amount you can go. And you smart animate to make the frames connect to each other and rotate or move based on where they are in the next frame. So we're gonna go from frame 1 to frame 2 to frame 3. And I've taken screenshots of how to set that up here. So as you can see, this is just the prototype settings from if you go to the top right hand of your screen, you'll see these prototype settings now. Interesting. I took the screenshot like maybe a month ago, and they've changed the interactions, but anyway, this should still work the same way. So we want to set the interaction, and then we want to set the animation. So for the first one, it's 1 millisecond and it connects to frame 2. And then I set the animation to linear so that, you know, the movement is smooth. The second animation setting is the tricky one, or like the interesting one. So you set to after delay by 1 millisecond, and then the smart animate is 1 millisecond, because essentially what you're trying to do is we want to go from this frame to this frame, from frame 2 to frame 3 really fast, as though they were basically the same image, because it's basically one frame replacing the other. And then we want it to go from the negative side to the positive side and go back clockwise. Maybe it'll make more sense when we go into it. So let's get into that. Okay. So here we are back at our frames that we set earlier, and I'm going to set the prototype settings to this. So I'm going to drag this across. Now the interaction, as we said earlier, is going to be an after delay, and we're going to set to 1 millisecond. And our animation is going to be smart animate, and I want it to be set to linear with 1,200 millisecond delay. Why 1,200? It's just a random number. I chose that was big just because it's easier to see. That equates to 1 second, 1.2 seconds. Yeah. So frame 2, if you remember, is we're gonna do 1 millisecond delay, and the smart animate is going to be set to 1 millisecond as well. Now, the reason we do 1 millisecond is because it's the smallest you can go. If we could go smaller, I think that would have been better. And then from frame 3 back to frame 1, we're going to do the same after delay, but this time we're setting the time back to 1/200. So we've connected everything. Let's see if it works. Okay, so at the beginning, it might lag a bit because it just takes a bit of time to load. This is a bit too long though, so let's see what we did wrong. Linear 1 millisecond. 0 millisecond, nope. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so there still seems to be a bit of lag between the frames, but essentially, if this is what you're trying to achieve, you know, you're in a prototype and you want it to look like it's loading, you basically got that. There's a bit of lag. I don't know why. Maybe I'll figure that out, but this is a tutorial on how to create a loader or like a full 360-degree rotation in Figma. That's it. That's all I got. I also got a haircut, so that's new. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. 3 months ago, I said I would do a video every day. I didn't achieve that. Who knows why? No, I was just really busy. But yeah, come back tomorrow and hopefully I'll have made another video, or at least like in 2 days. I also feel like, have you guys seen the Fall Guys game? I really want to play that. Maybe I'll stream it. Okay. That's been it. Izzy Muda, out. See you guys later.